The Bunker Project podcast, episode number 132.
No way. Warning, this is a show 2.
Yes, show 2, and we are talking about Pocket Casts, updating on Android first. An email question about technology for the classroom. Google Glass, is it cool or creepy? And BitTorrent Live.
Also, Game of Thrones beer coming soon.
Yes. Better be good.
I don't know about good. I mean, it was a light beer. I actually talked to the rep and I said, hey, when are you going to do a dark beer? Because Game of Thrones needs a dark beer. Arr. He said, really? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Game of Thrones should have it should be a stout, shouldn't it?
Well, it's a little bitter. I mean, you know, you got...
Let's unmute.
Yeah,
Oh,
unmute us, you
sorry.
dink.
Who used a phallic term for me? Oh, my God.
Shouldn't it be mead or something?
Mead.
Exactly.
Mead?
Yeah.
It's an ale. That'll do.
Krug.
It should be distributed in flagons.
So what Bob's talking about is last
dragons.
By scantily clad wenches.
last
Always.
Definitely.
week,
With
Bob
big
and
boobies.
Marcel were late for the show because they were at the Game of Thrones.
Getting free beer. Arr.
I guess it's already out now. It's
Sunday.
Marcel, is it
No,
out?
Another week.
Yeah. I mean, if we're not posting this till Wednesday after next, then yeah. No. When are we posting this? Next Wednesday, right?
yeah,
We're at Thursday.
It airs on the 31st.
probably Friday actually.
It airs on the 31st, so it will not have aired
11
yet.
days. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's still
Spoilers. All the characters are hanging out and waiting for stuff to happen. Spoiler.
Oh. Hang on. Wait, there's a big witch that comes in, and she does a thermonuclear spell, wipes out everybody. That's it. The series is over.
the
I
end
think
of
that's
the movie.
Once Upon a Time, isn't it?
The
Oh, yeah.
anyways,
they did do
they've
that,
got
didn't
this
they?
beer. They were Bob was just talking about this beer. It's called Game of Thrones.
I think we should
Iron
not try and
Throne.
talk about it because it was a big deal 4 weeks ago, and if we try and talk about it without knowing anything about it, we'll look stupid.
Yeah,
Just
but
saying.
they're launching this beer in a couple of weeks, so you guys probably don't know about it. It will be available in BC and probably other parts of the world. 6.5% volume. Game of Thrones. This is called Iron Throne Blonde Ale. They've got 2 other flavors that are coming out. And what's really cool about it, and that's why we're bringing it up to the Bunker Show, not because it's beer, well, okay, but it also has a QR code on it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. So you got to respect that.
Haven't you read Unmarketing? Every time someone uses a QR code, a kitten
Kitten
dies.
dies.
Oh.
Well,
No,
actually, what
That is a
inappropriately.
really good one-liner.
when they use it wrong, isn't it?
Yes, when they use it inappropriately, a kitten dies. That's appropriate.
I mean, it's kind of cool. There was Bunker beer and there was Bunker wine, and now they've copied us and made a
Yeah.
Game
Let's
of
sue.
Thrones beer.
God, we should do a
should've-
litigation.
We
Yes,
should have
I'm
patented
sure the
that.
Game of
Where's that
Thrones
damn
people
lawyer?
copied us. I'm
They
sure.
must be listening.
Stylish suits, right?
Anyways, I'm going to start off the show before the roundtable with some voicemail feedback, and it's from someone that
We all know and love
we all know.
for his
Who
husky
could it
voice.
be? Question mark.
Who could it be? Is right.
It's the Norm Maven.
Oh.
Hey,
Hi,
hearing
Norm.
So much buzz about Google Glass, almost just as much positive as negative. What's everybody thinking about it? Is it something that's going to be really weird or what? Anyways, have a great night, guys. Bye.
Google Glass.
Does,
Oh, I
that-
can't wait.
So yeah, so he said, is Google Glass going to be weird or is it going to be cool?
Well, I don't
Does
know.
Norm
It's like,
have any other friends? Because sometimes I wish we had more than one fan.
I
No, no.
I know.
Yeah, we had
We
Anthony
gotta start
call
with
in.
one.
We've had
Maybe
We've
Norm
had a
has
few
like a
people.
hot sister. Maybe.
Oh, Normette. Normette, yes.
Norma.
yes.
Norma Jean.
Normal.
Anyway, so we're going to do the roundtable introduction. Say your name, Twitter handle, or whatever other social media you want to promote. And are you excited about Google Glass? Is it cool to you or is it creepy? So we'll start with Nosy Paul.
Hey, Nosy Paul at Nosy Paul, N-O-Z-I.
When did he become Nosy Paul? Did I miss last week's show?
That's been
You
my
did.
Twitter
Yes, you did.
handle-
A few
handle
months
for-
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Get with
it.
the
I get
program,
way
man.
too wasted on these shows.
So it's not a hard O. It's not Nazi ball. Or
You weren't even here for that. And you,
There you go.
No,
That's
I-
exactly
One for
right.
Marcel.
I was there for that joke. I was just
okay.
like, it didn't hit hard enough. I had to find a better way to make it hit. So there it is.
We should all be
Okay.
Greek soccer players, eh?
I was like, what are you
So-
talking about, Hardo?
So is Google
That's
Glass
what she
going to be creepy? I kind of like the idea of Google Glass. What I think is great is that at least you should be able to see when people are recording you. It's you're going to know that every time you see anyone wearing any of those glasses, you're going to know that everything you say, do, whatever is going to be recorded, and you could possibly get yourself into a lot of trouble. So you're going to behave. It's not going to be the Google Glass that gets people into trouble, or it shouldn't be. It's going to be the other things when people are surreptitiously recording and you don't know what they're doing. So,
yeah. So what about Google Contacts?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a world where privacy
like this show.
pretty much doesn't exist. So when everybody's walking around with Google Glasses, it's going to be a completely different thing.
You've got
Because
to
they'll all
work
have
out.
it set to whatever they want it to be set at, and they can see whatever they want to see, and they can know whatever they want to know about you. Because you'll also be wearing Google Glass, and you'll have your settings, and it's going to be stupid. It's going to be great, you guys.
It's going to be like the person of interest. There's
Are they
these
gonna be-
little square brackets around everybody's face?
Yeah.
Or X-ray glasses. It's like, oh, you're
no.
wearing pink underwear today.
When I
Just
had my
wait for
BlackBerry-
Minority Report to happen.
When I had my BlackBerry, I had a setting on the camera where I could see anyone who has a phone set to Twitter or Facebook, so I could see if they're active on their Twitter and Facebook accounts. We're going to have that on our faces, and we're going to be able to go
That's
on the
cool,
train
man.
and see what people are doing and what they're attached
What was
to
the
and
app
what their
called?
thing is. Just I don't remember.
It was only on BlackBerry too.
A BlackBerry
All right.
rep showed it to me. But yeah, that's cool.
Sanj, your turn.
Sanj
So
Sukhkar.
we've got one person that thinks it's cool. You think it's cool or creepy?
I think it's an honest way of being creepy. But in the fact it's honest, I think it's
cool.
less creepy than it might be.
So it's creepy and cool.
Yeah.
Sanj.
Sanj Sukhkar with Genesis Designs. That's at Genesis Designs. I think it's creepy. Google follows me enough online, wherever I go, whatever I do. Google ads are, if you search for Google ads, like yesterday I was shopping for a router, and then I went to a different page altogether that had Google ads. There were ads showing for routers. So Google follows me online everywhere.
It's called retargeting.
I understand, but I don't want them doing that offline either. I can see myself being tracked from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. So my vote is creepy.
And every time you're on the toilet.
You betcha.
And Marcel, he's the Crazy TV Talk guy.
Indeed. So I'm on Twitter at Crazy TV Talk. If you can find me, I'm currently suspended because I do so many
Again?
terrible things.
Yeah, it happened
Question
again.
mark.
It's been like a week now.
Well, you know what? I think I'm still living down the stigma from when I was new on Twitter and being very aggressive and not really paying attention to actual advice. And months later, when I'm not following or unfollowing more than 100 people ever in a day, and I'm trying to be cooler about it, I think enough people I've rubbed the wrong way, so I am suspended. But hopefully I can, rise from the Twitter ashes like some kind of Twitter phoenix. Retweet myself and somehow become relevant again.
Well, what about what happened to Marcellavision at Marcellavision?
I canceled that one
Wow,
because
why did you
the
cancel it?
moment
You
I
should keep it
start,
as a backup.
the moment I started that one, they're like, "Yo, Crazy TV Talk is back." So I was like, cancel. So I haven't started the new one right so fast this time because I'm like, if I do that this time too, I'll just look erratic.
When you canceled
So
Movie Yearbook, you canceled Marcellavision.
I had no use for Movie Yearbook. The thing's been dead for over a year. But legit though.
But it was the best inactive Twitter account on Twitter.
It still is. Well,
No,
actually,
it's not inactive. It's just dead
So
now.
No,
Crazy
it's
TV
dead.
Talk is now the best inactive Twitter account on Twitter. But so they might bring me back. They might not. If they don't bring me back within a week or so, maybe I'll start something new, and hopefully I won't get us suspended. I am a terrible person, so who knows what's going to happen.
So
Now,
Google Glass.
Google Glass. I'm a little bit creeped out by it, but the truth is, it's the future. Everyone's going to have that on their face by the time I'm old. Everyone's going to be walking around and they can see what they want to see about the world around them based on their own settings. I think that's interesting. It's neat, and it's the future. So what am I going to do about it? Although I do think they actually set it up for the post-apocalypse because you can put on your Google Glass and everything will be fine, but really you're living
Does
in
Google
a
Glass-
post-apocalypse wasteland. That's the future.
Okay, so
Does it detect zombies?
But don't you think
You
that
can set it to, I'm sure.
don't you think that it's going to in a lot of public places, there, bars, restaurants, they're going to ban Google Glass?
No. I think Google Glass is the future. I think within 5 years, everyone will have it on their face. Period.
And if you don't have Google Glass, you'll have something discreet that no one can see. Anyway.
I
And you know what?
watch- and
Google
iWatch
Glass
maybe?
is good for businesses because you can walk into a business and there's probably some setting or something which will be like, here's all the online promo things. you
Oh,
can
yeah,
use.
no,
Here's
for
the
sure. It's
sales.
gonna
Here's
be-
this,
it's
here's
gonna be
that.
good for that,
Google
yeah.
Glass is going to be good for the economy and shit. So I can't see any business being like, you can't wear your magic glasses in here that tells you super awesome information about our business.
Well, back in the day, before smartphones had cameras in them, you weren't allowed to bring a camera into a bar and take pictures. So
Well, that's back in the day when a camera was a camera, but now that the camera can actually make you money one way or another, nobody cares as much anymore. It's like I went to a screening of Marley and Me a few years back. They took all our cell phones and shit, put them in paper bags, and hid them from us. We went to the advanced screening of Game of Thrones 12 days early, and it's kind of like, whatever, try not to record shit. We have a hashtag, in case you're wondering. Don't post spoilers, but use the
Exactly,
hashtag.
they're promoting a hashtag.
These days, people are more relaxed because they understand that buzz feeds things. You need the buzz.
Yeah.
Yep,
And if you
Buzz is
fight
good.
it, then you just look like an asshole.
Buzz is good. James, the gaming maven.
Gaming maven.
He's been shaking his head as everybody's been given
No,
their Google
no.
Glass.
Yeah, I figured out I need to make a Google Plus account for San Sukakar and make sure I do as much bad stuff as possible so he gets it in his browser. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, you're such an evil man.
And I was thinking if Paul thinks that Google Glass will help people behave better, he doesn't realize that
Exhibitionist.
that hasn't really helped with too much stuff like Twitter or anything like that. I mean, you're pretty much under constant surveillance in, I guess you're from England, and London has the largest collection of CCTVs in the entire world.
That's why we're all so well behaved.
And they all rioted like crazy people, too.
Well, like hockey fans.
The cops don't even have guns.
I don't think a Vancouverite can criticize Britain for rioting like crazy
Yeah,
people.
but
Just saying.
Britain did it for
I'm from
4
Alberta,
days.
so
they
it's okay.
they rocked over us.
Yeah, they definitely took the cake.
Well, they're more.
I think Marcel's a lot.
But they also got them all in jail within a few days too.
true.
Whereas in Vancouver, it takes a couple of years.
Yeah, well, they're new at
Yeah.
Well, and
Vancouver's
then they
are
don't
new
go
at
to
it.
jail.
I think Marcel's kind of right about most of the stuff he said, but
The
I
other
think
stuff
that there'll
sucks.
be materials that will block your signal if you're going to a bar or an establishment that has decided they don't want Google Glass there. So it may just be lack of cell phone signal.
Yeah, but then that means that your smartphone wouldn't work.
I could see
about
establishments
that.
taking somewhat of an offense to Google Glass and stuff at first, but I really don't think it would last in the long run. I really don't. I think it's the future.
It's
There's
Google's
a lot of
strategy.
shit you can get out of it. as a
Resistance
company
is
and
futile.
stuff.
You will be Googled.
Also, I think we should have a riot off with Britain. It's the only way to settle the score.
Oh, I love that riot on.
Good one.
Not a hope. Who do you think you're kidding?
I don't think we
Brilliant,
can.
you
I don't
guys.
think we can ride as well as they did.
Have
Yeah,
you watched
that's
soccer
right.
over there?
There's more hooligans over in the UK.
No,
we
we-
set the standard. We set the global level for that.
For
It's,
hooliganism, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? We do have polar bears.
You can be proud of that.
Whoa,
I kinda
it's
think
not
that-
exactly something we're proud of.
With
But
anything.
I think they'll be kind of cool though, but they'll quickly lose their luster.
What,
Yeah,
polar
it'll just
bears?
become.
Second nature.
They're not-
It'll just become
they're
part
not
of the scene
shiny.
until the next big thing, right?
Yeah, I mean it'll just get
Yeah,
well, I mean the price point for them right now is pretty
Yeah,
expensive.
$1,500.
So you're not going to see a lot of people get them around.
And they're
that.
not really fully
So only
And
the
some people-
well-heeled, creepy people will have them.
developed
But,
yet, right?
Yeah, but you got to remember also it'll be the
Lindsay
developer
Lohan.
community that gets forward, putting applications that actually make people want to buy them,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that it'll be people that are visual people will use them. There are people that won't use them because they're not a visual person and they're afraid
Gamers
of
will
it.
use them,
It doesn't necessarily have to be gamers.
but it could be.
Could be. I mean, there's.
But
different
wouldn't it
things.
be weird just like sitting across somebody wearing Google Glass and they're not even paying attention to you? They're
I mean-
watching their Twitter stream or
Doesn't
whatever.
that happen already?
Well,
Yeah, duh.
there's been a couple of YouTube videos where it was like.
Yeah, but at least you can see it that it's obvious. But with Google Glass, they just have to look up to the right a little bit and
Well, there's an
activate their glass.
There's an awesome YouTube video called Sight, which is a
Yeah,
scary
it's funny.
horror kind of take on it, but
You know what?
it's a good video to watch.
it's
and
called
see-
what? Site.
Yeah, it's called Sight.
SIGH.
So is it like that
Yeah.
Facebook stalker thing that you got me to go to?
No, that one's pretty funny.
Yeah, that one was hilarious.
Sight was just made as a futuristic movie about what might take place.
Which is very cool.
It was funny because the when the stalker was stalking me, it was my cartoon image that made it that actually took the freakiness out of it and it made it funny.
It definitely did.
Yeah. So who's
Be
next?
very quiet. I'm
We got
I,
Margaret.
I have to rant really quick. I'm so sorry, Margaret. I love you. Seriously, people may be alienated by Google Glass at first, but it is the future. If it's not Google Glass, it'll be some other augmented reality thing you can wear on your face so you can see whatever you want at all times.
Yeah, it'll be the holodeck.
Like people were alienated by cell phones at first when it was like, oh, these zombies sitting on their cell phones all day. Now that's the future.
Yep.
Like there always needs to be a next big thing, having augmented reality on your face where you can see what you want and advertisers can get advertisements to you is the future. I can't see it just petering out.
Yeah.
It'll stick around one way or another and it's going to be huge.
I think it'll stick around, but is it really like the next?
They said
big
that
thing?
about Betamax too.
Is it is like
Yeah, but that was stupid.
like Leo Laporte on Twit? He takes the contrarian point for Google Glass, and he says that it's like the segue for your face.
Yeah, until you have developers actually developing stuff for it and actually providing an awesome experience, then it's just going to become secondary.
Because Segway was
But that will
a
happen.
was a cool.
When it comes out, it's going to be really, really rushed and awful.
Who here develops apps? I do. So, I mean, the amount of time it takes to put in effort and investment and money to develop for a new platform that maybe not a lot of people buy off the time isn't necessarily going to equal them taking off right away. I mean,
but it's
Google's
not really
put
a new
out-
platform, is it? It's just a platform. It's just a
It depends on the
utility
coding
device
language that they're going to do. It depends on exactly how it costs.
I think it's awesome for Google because they're going to get so much data from people walking around with these
Totally.
things
You
on.
got it.
Okay, let's get some
Also
Data
for
mining, data
lawyers.
mining. So Google
Margaret, what's
Glass,
your opinion?
creepy or cool or perhaps just inevitable?
That's your thing? Inevitable? All right.
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, but you can't go with that because you have to actually take a stand and say if it's creepy or cool. Or
Bit of both.
No,
Okay.
she's saying it's
I th-
inevitable.
I think
she's
it's-
saying she's brought
Well,
a new
I
word
think-
in.
I think-
I'm bringing a new word, but I also think it could, depending on how it all shakes down and how people use it or abuse it, it could be both.
Okay, Bonnie?
At B Sainsbury.
No, that's not a Google Glass answer.
no, but
It
no,
isn't.
Oh,
No,
hang on,
it's the
hang on,
round table.
hang
No,
on.
it-
I forgot to say that I'm at Women Talking Tech.
Also
TEC.
Oh,
Women talking
enough
tech.
with the advertising.
So the women talking tech are saying the same thing. It's inevitable.
Inevitable.
So it's a matter of, are you going to wear this device on your eyes or
Get the eye
6
tooth.
months, just a minute, 6 months ago, somebody was saying that your keyboard is going to be on your forearm.
And whether it's cool or
Or-
creepy depends on how you're using it and abusing it.
That's right.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
So
Nora.
I'm not going to, I'm just going to say I ignore people normally. So the fact that
do.
I have Google Glass on my face doesn't mean I'm going to be looking for your pink underwear. I'm still going to ignore you,
Bob.
and play
Yeah.
with
No,
and
but
play
I think-
with
Bitch.
Twitter
Yeah, but
or
with-
do whatever.
But with Google Glass, you'll be able to look at someone and have even more reasons to ignore them.
Hey, maybe with Google, they see that I'll be on my Nimble and Google, and it'll be awesome.
yeah, but that's just if you're a creep, you're a creep. I mean,
girl.
that's got nothing to do with the creepy. Doesn't have it. Isn't the device that's creepy? It's the person that's creepy.
Yep.
So if you're going to use it for creepy,
Facebook is creepy when you get those other messages from those weird people.
Okay,
That's creepy.
I'm
No,
gonna-
but I mean, no, but I mean,
glasses
the
could
creep
make
factor.
the creepy people even creepier.
Yeah.
Right?
All
You
right.
know?
So,
I
so
think
what,
so.
I'm just going to jump in here because I just can't wait anymore. All you guys are old farts.
Well,
Google
fuck you.
Glass, thank you. Google Glass is for the new generations of content, and there will be another product, another like iTooth and and iRetina, whatever. The thing is that what we're talking about when
Yes, but is it Android?
it will be just like back in the radio days, where people were like, the TV, that's no good. The radio, that's where it's right. You can't visualize.
That's
it
why we think
properly."
it's inevitable.
That's what we're talking about. Exactly. The youth will pick it up.
no
Yeah,
old people
Gesundheit.
will
Do
also
you,
They
pick
do
it up.
you can't afford a $1,500 pair of Google Glasses?
No, but in 5 years, when it's $20, they will be right, and it's attached or it's for free because it comes with your TELUS account.
When it's a mandatory implant.
Well, no, when it's free, when it won't have to be mandatory. When it's free, it's free. I'll take that phone.
The price
You know,
point when
but
it
it's not
really
gonna
doesn't
be a
matter for
phone. It's
anything.
gonna be your
It'll be
Google
a chip
Glass.
by then.
It's the same thing. What you're doing is that TELUS
That's what we're saying.
TELUS
We're
sells
saying that,
bandwidth. All it is a bandwidth device, and
Yes.
all we're talking is like
It's
a-
not. It's not all it is. though.
Bob, what it ultimately is another device to make people marketable too.
It's the
Absolutely.
computerization of.
But But that's
it's
us
control.
analyzing.
It's
It
control.
is
I mean,
making
race.
us targets for advertising.
if every time
It's
I
not
go,
for us; it's for them.
if every time I get into a conversation with someone and they slag someone off, and I've recorded it, I've got video of them saying it, the lawyers are going to have a field day.
Yeah, but you can do that with your smartphone now.
I know.
anyways.
I can do that
Yeah.
now.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
you-
that
you
it's a
don't-
little bit more inconspicuous
Yeah,
with Google Glass.
To do it with your phone, you've got to get your phone out. You've got to turn it on. You've got to record.
always
You
out.
get that. If your Google Glass is always on, everything you.
Well, it's not really always on.
No,
you have to
it
say,
isn't.
You have to say glass record or whatever.
Yeah, and somebody's
so
going to
that's so
notice
hard.
that.
By the way, I think you're a total glass record douche.
Glasses off. Glasses on.
Hey, can it have a douche detector? It's like, starts blinking red.
I
It's
think
like
it can.
douche,
I think it
douche,
can,
douche.
That'll be an app.
I think it can because what will happen is that people will tag people
Yeah.
as douche, and then you can
Yeah, I
actually.
can see by your user recommendations, you get a 2 out of 10.
You've
Bye-bye.
got 4,000 people have tagged you as a douche already.
Okay. Well, here's a real life situation. Marcel and I were in a cocktail party with a bunch of people that had just watched the same video or movie, and basically what we did is I was going around and I was like being hyper connect Bob. So, hi, how you doing? My name's Bob Garlic. How you doing? And Marcel was sitting there ready to go, and blah 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 blah. I'd introduce myself. I'd smash them with way too much comments. Say, oh, and by the way, this is my co-host Marcel. And then he would jump in and do some stuff, and then we'd flit away to another group. What was happening is like this group of 50 or 60 people were breaking up into small cliques of 2 to 4 people that knew each other. Nobody was going around breaking into new cliques, and that's what I do. I was like, hi, I'm Bob. You don't know me. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Chat with them for like 1 or 2 minutes. Says, great, here's my card. Let's move on. And we just moved on and on. People don't know how to network with new people, so... What is Google
people
Glass?
naturally
It'll be a
gravitate to
new-
people that they know.
It'll
Right?
be a new excuse not to communicate with people. Oh, that guy's from TELUS, or I won't even talk to him. So,
He's just going to sell me shit.
but the thing is,
But
if
couldn't it also
that
do
could
the-
be the most that could become his best friend in the world if he wasn't biased with his Google Glasses information.
But couldn't it do the
People
opposite?
have to
Couldn't you find people with
Absolutely.
similar interests and it could be like
you
an
could
engaging?
you could, but people would then become biased to that particular stuff, and they won't discover people that don't have that on their primary Google, because when you have a Google Glass, you're not going to have time to look
Well,
at
hell,
like
man, everybody's
50
going to have to
other
get
things.
way better at writing their personal profiles.
Well, okay. If you met me with Google Glasses and I have 9 pages of Google links, what is Google Glass going to do? It's going to say
Error alert.
Yeah, it says like, oh my God, information. They'll just show 1 or 2 or 3.
I'm sorry,
links for
Hal.
Google
I
Glass.
can't do that.
Exactly.
But
So-
what's
Or it's
okay?
like,
So
oh,
what's
what a
the
turd.
It'll be
what's the
social media
difference
junkie.
between that and you handing me a business card?
because 99% of people don't have the guts to go and say, hi, I'm Bob Garlic. How you doing? What are you doing? Entertain them a little bit and say, oh, by the way, do you have a card? Oh, thank you for the
Oh,
card.
okay,
and
but
here's
that's
my
got
card.
nothing to do with the. That's
Nobody knows how to do
you're-
social interaction
We're
anymore.
talking about a delivery system, or in this case, a delivery system, which is the Google Glasses, and it's really a 2025 or 2015 version
business
of a
card.
business card.
Yes and no.
Why? It's more business. It's more information.
No, it's not. It's not.
Why
actually.
not?
So
Because
does that mean
because you can get the information without asking for the card.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure somewhere.
I can get
Just
that
a-
information on by simply entering someone's name and,
So-
and
And
email
on my
on
smartphone.
Nimble.
Exactly, but
You know what? You know what I thought found interesting. I was at the hockey game a little while ago, and I said to Valerie, I said, if we were wearing Google Glass right now, we'd be able to just look across
You
the whole
find
stadium and
friends.
find people sitting wherever they are in the stadium,
Yep.
all the way across, little flags popping up above their
yeah,
heads.
there's John, there's Joe, and
That
then
would
you
be
tweet
so
'em.
cool.
You follow this person on Twitter.
But you could do that on Twitter. It's like
You
I'm
can
in,
do
I'm
that
in,
now
I,
with
I'm in this
Yelp
section.
or
You know.
Yeah,
one
but
of those.
but people have to check in though. But with Google Glass, with face recognition, you'd be able to see.
Okay,
the
but
people.
I'm sure that some civil rights lawyer is going to ensure that I'm going to be able to block myself, so that if I'm sitting in that, why not?
I don't think it's
Absolutely,
possible.
you just won't turn up. So you'll be
No, it's
invisible.
going to have
block
to be
yourself.
possible because it's like, you
I
know,
don't think it's
there's no
possible.
you're
way.
going to have to be able to have
How
a
would it
right to
not be
say,
possible,
I don't
Andrew?
want people to know where I am all the time. Fuck you.
because
Okay,
because
you
because
know.
your face is something that is
Who cares? You're
it's
on
like a
any
barcode.
If you're on any given website or whatever, you have the option to block yourself from certain people,
Yep.
or in
Yep.
general, if you have the Google Glass,
It's a
you will
human
have
right.
the option to block yourself from
Right,
certain
'cause it's
people
gonna-
or
the-
in general.
the-
You
or
have
from
you,
certain settings.
exactly. You have the
You
right to
choose what you
not
can
share
do,
what you're watching
and
on
they choose
Netflix.
what they're looking for.
Yeah,
That's how Google Glass
you'd
works.
have the right to remove yourself from all social networks, but if you're on one of
No.
them, Google Glass would be able to pick it up. I don't see why
Well,
not.
but I
No,
don't think
because
so. I
you
think
can block
there's-
yourself from specific people just like you can with Facebook. Of course, that
there
would
has to
option.
be a voice recognition app.
That'll be funny
It
if they're
can't
standing right in
be
front of you. I can't see
everything.
you.
And if there's a voice, if
Well,
there's a
okay,
face
here's-
recognition app, and I choose to block myself, there has to be.
No,
what
I don't think
about,
so. But if I-
what if I'm in a witness protection plan? I don't want,
well, that's,
you know.
there's not going to be
Well,
any
you
more.
shouldn't be on Google.
It's not as simple
Okay, but
as face
if I'm in a
recognition.
witness protection plan, or if my creepy ex-husband,
Yeah, or,
or
your abused child,
or
yada yada yada.
Well,
my
it is-
wacko neighbor. Does that mean I never get to go to a hockey game? I've got to sit inside all the
No,
time.
they give you
what
a
if
new
that
ID.
person?
They'd have to alter your face.
yeah,
You'd have to wear a
they-
mask.
Okay,
It's
guys,
not as
I
simple as
think we're
facial
getting a
recognition.
little
If you
too
have the
deep and
device-
off track.
Okay,
We
if-
haven't finished the round table yet. We still have a couple people to go, so let's not scare them
Oh,
off.
That's
well,
fair.
she's still in her host mode. Thank you. very
I'm
much.
always bossy.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, it's a very good point. I was going to jump in there, but I just what the hell? I'm having so much fun listening to people freak.
No, but
I
Rand-
beg your pardon.
Randall, your turn.
Yeah, Randall.
What? Oh, where are we?
So,
What?
Anywhere.
What was the question?
What are we
Google,
talking about?
Google Glass, is it a
Cool, creepy,
Cool or creepy?
or inevitable?
Well, hi everyone. Randall Orser at Number Crunchers. I think it's kind of creepy. I don't know what they're gonna do for people like me who have to have prescription glasses. So,
it's easy fix.
You know whether they'll do it, but I don't know.
It's just a frame
the
set.
thoughts of a HUD display on my face all the time, and
Not all the
as
time.
long as I can shut it off, I think. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you have to activate it.
Yeah.
You know, I want a teleporter. Damn it! Fuck this Google Glass shit. I want a teleporter.
Yes, I'm with you.
Let's jump to sci-fi. All right. We've got a gentleman in the bath. You know, he's not going to jump in, but if you had Google Glass, you know all about him. Yeah. And now we
As long as he
have
didn't block it.
we have a special guest in here. He's a gaming dude, but we're not going to talk about gaming. We're going to talk about is Google Glass creepy and does it have gaming application?
Hey, this is Ken. I'm at Mind Juice Media on Twitter.
Mind Juice, cool.
Mind Juice. I do iOS games. Plug.
Plug.
What is that?
What?
What?
That's not Android, is it?
Oh no!
Oh shit! It's that other
iOS.
one.
Now, please.
Okay.
Anyways, Google Glass.
I don't really care too much about them. I hadn't even heard about them until like a week ago. So
Wow, you are a coder.
From what I've seen in some of the videos, it looks like they could be pretty creepy in some situations, but as some others have said, it's mainly what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to it as a platform to see what I could do with it coding-wise, what's going to be available. Are there going to be restrictions on what you can do with your face, and can you block people? And there's going to be some feeling out. I think Google Glasses is like really, really early, so 5 years from now we'll see what's possible. What would be cool with Google Glasses if you've got video? I mean, you could have like Google Street View, right? But now there's Google Street View Live because everyone in the world has Google Glasses.
Oh yeah, that's what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Very cool.
real time video search.
So
That's
so
a
what
very
if
good
you
point.
what if you're looking in your Google glasses and trip over a manhole or
Well, you
run
pick-
into the street or whatever
Well-
because you're not paying attention?
Well,
Like,
people
what
will
if-
see you and call an
you know,
ambulance.
say you have relatives in Europe and someone's getting married and they're all wearing Google Glass. You can see the wedding from everyone's point
yeah.
of view.
Yeah.
That kind of application is interesting.
Well, there's an application already exists for doing that with smartphones, where if you're in
Yeah.
an event, you can log in and you can see other people's views of the same event. I mean, that's an
yeah,
Android thing.
but you don't see it the whole time. Everyone has to be holding up their phones. This is something that is there.
Sure,
Th-
it's
this
an
is- this is-
advancement of that concept.
th-
but it's
this
just
is
saying, oh,
awesome.
it exists.
but it's not relevant to today.
I
So
think-
why don't
I
we
think-
talk about something that's actually
What's,
going on?
what's next?
You know, there actually is some sad news today.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
That for all the porn lovers out there, and
There we
because
go.
we're talking about internet and
Glass
web.
porn.
Harry Reams, who starred in the 1972 Deep Throat died today of pancreatic cancer.
Wow. So it just goes to show you, if you're into porn, you're going to die of cancer. There you go.
Pretty much.
So there you go.
All right, Bob.
Pancreatic cancer.
Let's close off the round table. What do you think? What's your opinion on Google Glass?
All Google Glasses are is Google once again disrupting the market to turn technology manufacturers into understanding that there is way more they can do, and they're stuck with these handheld devices. And really, there's some amazing devices out there. There's like a $159 product that you can put on your wrist, and you can control
Yeah, that's
all
really
sorts of stuff. I think $159. That's cheap shit. And you can do a PowerPoint, and all with hand gestures based on the muscle movement of your arm.
And you can set them too, right?
control, yeah, which can control the computer. So it's like, oh, it's a PowerPoint.
We'll put the
You
the video
you-
and the show
you
notes for that.
Snap your finger,
product.
it goes to the next thing. So, oh, I want to do a circle.
Randall, be quiet.
It's very good. All right, Randall, please.
Well, I was going to say Google Glasses will allow you to have your hands free, right? Is that-
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Ah, good old Randall. And so, anyways, it's doing it. The reason it's $1,500 isn't because that's a price thing. It's just like, hey, this is how much it costs to manufacture these things. We're only going to do 5 or 10,000 of these, or 20 or 100,000 of these. It doesn't matter. It's dead technology. All they're doing is saying this is possible. This is new concept.
So
They're
do you-
just
so do you-
basically waking people up.
So do you
Current
think-
price
Waking
point doesn't mean
manufacturers up.
anything?
No, it never does.
It'll be
Do
a
you-
matter of time before it's affordable to everybody.
Yeah.
And it is the future.
Exactly.
And then there'll be some
Do you
different
think-
technologies.
Do you really
it
think
doesn't
though?
matter.
Do you
Well,
really
don't you-
think it is the future, or do you think it's just Google
yeah.
having
I
to
don't know
have
if
something cutting
Google
edge and
Glass
pushing
is
something
the future,
cutting
but
edge?
I think wearing a thing on your face where you can program it to see what you want to see and interact with it in the way that you want to do is the future. I don't know if it'll be Google or if someone will come up with something
Yeah,
better, but it's the future.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. You could have to, I've used this many times, and I will continue to use it, iTooth. I'm going to get the Macintosh iTooth. I'm going to have it installed, and then I will broadcast anything I say. It's got high fidelity, uses beautiful bass, and then
You're
I
going to
can
be able
have
to
a
get rid of the
retina-
nasal tone?
Then I'll have a nasal implant put in there, so I sound like Dick Clark, and basically that's just a concept. Is just making humans wake up to like, wow, Google Glass, that's a cool thing. So now that it exists and somebody manufactured because it's proof of concept, then people say, oh wow, Google, I'm going to invent some stuff. I'm going to make something better than Google Glass. It's going to move us forward. That's
There was a TED talk, and this guy from I can't remember his name. He's a guy from India. Had this awesome wearable computing stuff, where he could just turn any flat surface into a screen and project anything onto that screen.
Augmented
and
reality, yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing technology, and it's really right around the corner.
But we're
So
just
that's
not
cool.
ready for it yet.
Okay, so supposing you married up that augmented reality
With
okay,
Google Glasses.
with the Google
And
Glasses,
with the band, as
A couple
well,
of blondes.
all at the same time.
A couple of
so-
shots of tequila. Boom.
and
There you go.
The augmented
Porn movie.
reality site that you connect to is a picture of a guy attacking someone, attacking you. So you're in
thinking
America wandering
attacking.
around with your gun. You're walking around with your Google Glasses. You see, rather than see the flat surface, you see someone attacking you.
Yeah.
You pull out your gun, you shoot him dead.
Yes.
Okay, who's responsible for the crime?
You are because you're an idiot.
no, but this is the point.
I would assume if the technology is that far down the line,
It
at
is
that
that
point,
far. It's
you'd
this-
be aware of the fact that maybe you're not being charged from a man in a little rectangle, and you shouldn't shoot him, and maybe it could be a trick because
but-
you've been wearing Google Glass for years at this point, and one would think you're at least aware of its
But
capabilities.
the point of augmented reality is it's so well.
Is it going to turn everybody into
You're not going to
schizophrenics?
be
Yeah,
able to
I was
see
gonna say
the
that.
difference
Probably.
between reality and imagination.
I think that's an
Well, it's-
extremist case on
Exactly.
I think
it.
we're getting a little far off
Give it
track.
5 years, and we'll see.
Yeah,
It's
5
correct.
years. That's exactly the
So-
reason.
No,
Not
the way
not 5
the
years.
iPhone has taken over everything.
It hasn't. The
reality
iPhone's
has?
only got
is gonna do
15% of the market.
Yes,
Thank
fine.
you, Andrew.
Thank you. The thing is, what you're talking about is the same
But
argument. that say,
smartphones. You meant
if
smartphones.
you
Yeah,
watch,
you get what I mean.
Yeah.
If you watch a violent video, you become a psychopath and kill people. That's insane. If you are have a mental problem and you're going to kill somebody, it has nothing to do with the games, has nothing to do with Google Glasses, it has nothing to do with the gun you buy, it has nothing to do with the bullets you buy. It is the state of your brain. If you're fucked up and you're going to kill somebody, you might do it with a fork. You don't need a Mac, like a very powerful gun or some
Thank
high
you.
technology stuff to do it, you just get messed up. So there'll always be people out in the society that are going to be screwed up and do something like that. And usually what happens is the press are the people that sensationalize it and confuse people. And it's like, what? Google Glasses are the responsible for murdering somebody? No. It wasn't the gun manufacturers responsible. It was the lunatic that bought the gun and shot somebody. That's the
Let's
person that's
not go there.
responsible.
Let's go somewhere else.
You know, oh my
Me-
God.
Right now,
Bob,
please.
Bob, do you mean we're responsible for our own actions?
I'm afraid so.
Okay.
Are you
agreed.
saying? Are you saying that
How about we
guns don't
move
kill
on?
people?
How about we
People
move
kill
on to
people?
technology in the classroom? This
Yes.
looks fascinating.
Oh yeah, that's my sister.
Here it comes.
My
Here,
sister.
I knew it.
My
I
sister
knew it.
sent me an email,
All right.
and she said, "Hey,
And then can
bro."
we have gaming with James?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
She said, next year we are going to teach our grade 9s in a one-on-one digital setting. Students will bring their own device.
What grade level?
Grade 9.
Okay.
A laptop, tablet, or whatever they have. And us teachers are being offered the chance to do one
Great
of
English.
the following. Keep laptop and add an iPad. Keep laptop and add a Samsung Note tablet.
Or other Android device.
Yeah. Replace laptop with a Surface or a similar hybrid device. And she says, what do you suggest? I'll likely have students with laptops, iPads, and Android tablets. So we'll need to be able to find comparable apps between Google Play and the App Store for assignments. We'll be using them instead of a textbook for worksheet type assignments for producing e-content, blog, prezis, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, Google's already got the suite all figured out. I don't even want, just get a Google account. I mean, it's all built in. Math, science.
No, but what she was saying is that some of the students are going to have iPads. Some of them are going to have Android phones. Some of them are going to have
Yeah, but
laptops. Some
they
of them are going
can
to have
get-
Macs.
They can get Google Drive on an Apple.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's the thing is, they should not be basing it on the platform. They should be
Right.
basing it on the service availability through a cloud experience, which is Gmail or whatever. Who else does it? Oh, nobody. So,
Well, nobody else does it well.
well, okay. So
Microsoft
nobody.
does it.
I don't
very
think that's
well.
at all what she's talking about.
But there's
I
lots
know,
of
I know, because
No,
she
she's
doesn't
not.
get it.
That's like no, you guys
No,
don't
she
get it.
gets
What he's
it.
saying.
She gets it.
You,
Anyways,
you guys don't get it. What
Oh, I
he's
totally
saying
get
is saying how do we find comparable applications that suits everybody depending on their level of technology.
Exactly, which
So you're going to be looking for stuff that's HTML5 enabled because
Yep.
it doesn't matter what device it is. It's in a web.
Yep,
So
exactly. Well, that's just
That's
what I
an
said.
easy way to hit that thing.
So there's lots of e-learning platforms.
Yeah, but
Even I know
they
that.
don't want the
So
e-learning
anyways,
part.
No, they don't.
No.
They-
So-
Why not? What are they doing with these people?
Because they don't need somebody to show them how to be a teacher. They just
They
need
want to be able to
devices
put
so
in their
that-
own stuff into
Yeah,
the
they just want.
worksheets.
I want
Instead
you
of-
guys to write this assignment. You need a 500-word essay on the plains of Champlain because that's what's in Google, in grade 9. That's what you got to do.
The curriculum,
Blah blah
yeah.
blah curriculum. And they're doing stuff like my daughter came home and she said, "Oh, I got a really cool teacher. We're doing a video project and we get to choose any scene and in the fields of Champlain as long as it's presented as a video presentation." So they came over, and lucky for them, I got a complete studio with a green screen. So the kids like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And they giggled and laughed a lot for 2.5 hours, and they did a 3-minute piece, and they all got A's because we had green screen. And the teacher called me and said, "Oh my God, this is so cool! How did you do that?" I said, "It's green screen. It's cheap to do." The teachers, yeah, exactly. It's green ski. That's
You
Canadian
talk like you're right,
pronounce-
Bob.
It's a Canadian version of it. But all I'm saying is that when I talk with teachers, they're having a really hard time keeping up with the technology. And
Okay, so-
no, but the teachers are cutting edge of education. When you start talking to the board, like this is the Burnaby Board of Education,
School board, yeah.
The school board, you talk to them, they're back in the Stone Age. I mean, they've got an IT department that's shitting bricks that they're going to convert over to some Google app because they're
Okay,
on fire.
so there.
And it's
So which option do you suggest? Because I think you're suggesting a fourth option. They're saying that they can keep their laptop, add an iPad, keep laptop, and add a Samsung Note or other Galaxy or other tablet.
Okay. The biggest flaw is they're expecting all students to provide technology, which is unfair to
Yes.
families that are having a hard time putting food
Well,
on the
you know,
table.
I'm sure they'll have devices there that for the students that.
Oh no,
can't
I think
afford
they
it.
provide the devices.
Yeah, they provide the devices. No, the students are bringing
No,
their own.
exactly.
But they
That's-
will provide the device if they need to. I'm assuming.
Well, they're
But
the
not
big
every
assumption
kid
right
in a
now.
public school can have an iPod,
Ex-
iPad and stuff. Give me a
Exactly.
break.
Well,
I
come
mean-
on, a
Could
kid,
have an iPod.
They could get a $200.
No,
No.
there are kids in
Not
school
every
that
kid can
don't
do
eat.
that.
Yeah.
There are kids.
No,
that
but the school could provide one for
no,
those who
they
can't
don't
afford
have a
it.
budget for that. Trust me. I've sat on PAX, and it's horrifying. We've gone there, and we do pancake breakfast, and we'll have like 2 containers of pancake mix that are left over, and we give that to families that can't afford to give their kids a breakfast in the morning so that they can have some sustenance, so they can learn anything to get out of the poverty cycle that they're into. We are really like, oh, here's an iPad, and oh, it's great. And by the way, we can't even afford to pay our rent, and we can't afford to pay our hydro bill. And
Okay,
here's
but
another
that's
device that's gonna make us cost more money.
that's a totally separate issue. But in
Yeah,
terms
but-
of the question, what do you suggest? I think you're suggesting not any of those, but a Chromebook would be better for them, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying any device that's cost effective that any students can use is irrelevant. It's using a platform that all of like that the iPad and the iPhone and the Nexus, the Android devices can all log into, or older computers. So all you really need is internet access. And guess what? All schools have internet access, and all schools have a bunch of crappy old computers. But if you're just surfing the net, all you need is bandwidth. So really what the schools need is kick-ass bandwidth.
Yep.
All school needs fiber optic bandwidth. That's what they need.
But they're going to be doing a lot of this work from home. It's not actually in the school, right? They're going to be doing the work on their device wherever they happen to be.
Yeah.
Here's what
Yes
here's,
and no.
Here's what I responded. I said that you could go with a Surface or a hybrid device like the one I have. However, it might be better to go with your existing laptop and the iPad. The reason is because then you have your Windows desktop apps, you have your iOS apps on the iPad or the iPad mini, and you could still have all your Android apps on your Windows or Mac, whatever you happen to have, using BlueStacks, which is an Android emulator that works great on both Windows and Mac. So that way, no matter what the student has, you would be able to have the same app. That was my reasoning.
Yep, good job.
Nice.
You know. Just I need to make a quick comment.
Yes.
It's sort of bugging me.
Attaboy.
I think just like in social media and SEO, we keep saying content drives everything. It troubles me when education systems and school boards get so obsessed about whether to go with Samsung or Apple or this or that, when we should really, instead of pushing these toys onto the kids, be really focusing on how to improve math and science and bring the real content.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you on the fundamentals, but actually these are just different ways of teaching, and I think it's kind of neat that they're actually using technology to teach kids. And instead of using a textbook, they're actually using digital media, I think.
Yeah, but
now,
it's going to make
we
them
can-
tech savvy. But how is it going to make them any smarter? Or how? Why
Well,
not?
Well, they're finding actually with a
It's
lot
just a
of this
tool.
stuff.
A textbook is a tool, and so is a
They're
tablet.
they're finding that the kids that using technology actually they do better
Oh, they do.
in
but-
school than they do without the technology.
Yeah, because a textbook is like stuck with its information, and if it ever needs to get upgraded, then you really can't.
and with the digital, they can upgrade it instantly.
Exactly.
You know, and I mean, you look at textbooks in school. I mean, even when I went to school, we had textbooks from the friggin' 60s,
And there
this
was
is in
pictures
the
of
late
dicks.
70s.
No,
you
I
know?
think. Okay, let me go back one step. Like when I was in college, we used to have to write papers, and
Punch cards.
write papers, and submit assignments, and do all sorts of things. And
Typewriters.
my maternal uncle is a psychologist, and he said the way the old school used to work is they used to have to memorize and do those kind of things. And they said you ended up retaining most of the stuff, but when you do the new methodology, you end up sort of relying on calculators and this and that. So I think, again, using the same logic, with the new toys and everything, the retention and the education is going to be more diluted. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but...
No, it's a good tangent.
dare
but,
you.
So here's the thing. Like, back in the day, you did have to memorize it. But, now we have machines that do everything. Posy touch systems. If you work at McDonald's, you really don't have to figure out, how much change to give somebody in actual hand.
You still need to know.
Well, you kind of. But the thing is that these kids are doing jobs that will probably do not necessarily account for things that we are doing.
Okay, there's a I don't remember the name of it, but they've now identified a form of intelligence that in fact knows where to get the information. So rather than storing it in the back of your brain, some stupid poem that you had to learn in grade 12, if you have the kind of intelligence that you can quickly go and find that information, they're saying that kind of intelligence is on a par with someone who memorizes things, which has traditionally been, you have a high IQ if you can remember that poem. Now they're saying if you have the kind of intelligence to retrieve that from somewhere else.
It's the same as some people. If you have two people looking up something on Google, one person's going to find it way faster just because they've got that intelligence and know how to phrase a question. The other thing is, all these kids that are going into school right now are going to end up graduating and getting in jobs that don't even exist yet.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
And they're going to be technology based because let's face it. I mean, there's always going to be the trades and all those kind of. And I think it is important for them to still know their math tables, multiplication tables, all those kind of things. I think the basics still need to be learned.
Yes. There you go.
I don't disagree with that at all. But I think but in other ways, technology is important, and it's going to help them create or be prepared for the future that they're going to face.
I disagree with all of you because our school systems are broken. The read and regurgitate system should die. And just because you don't know your math tables when you're 7 does not mean that you're not going to be a nuclear physicist when you're 25.
No, but I think you should know them by the time you're in grade 12.
Yeah,
Nope.
I agree with.
Why is it all the top CEOs of the most groundbreaking companies have never graduated high school?
Well,
you know what?
I have no clue. If you know that, I'm just saying.
That's the point.
Well, that's actually not a true stat.
We got
It's
double
not a
stat.
true stat.
No,
but
Hey,
that's because
let's everybody take turns here.
that's because they're CEOs. But if you look at why are we complaining because our doctors and engineers are coming from all third world?
I want them to be coming from there. I have no problem. I don't know who you're talking to.
Well, they can't get jobs in Canada. Is the
Because we don't have a legislative system
Hey,
to take
speaking
their...
of those amazing BitTorrents.
Why don't we?
Actually, I think we're going to skip that. And
Now
go
we're skipping
into
that. We're going
gaming with
going
James.
Yay!
Gaming with James.
Yay!
Yay.
So you got something for us, James?
But I like what Sandra's saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. But
No, I
just
agree,
not-
and I think there's different types of intelligence.
But there's
just
also
like Bonnie said.
there's 4 different types of learning too, right? Auditory,
No, absolutely.
visual.
It
oh
just-
yeah, there's also
tactile.
kinesthetic. Yeah,
It just bugs me that when you go to Mickey D or any other teller, and it's if your
you
bill,
go to Mickey D's.
No, well, if your bill comes to $2.50 and you give them a $10 bill and the till is broken, she's looking at your face, not knowing how much money to
Yeah.
give you.
Well,
Yeah,
it's because the till is
yeah,
broken, and she's
but-
like, "How do I open this?"
no,
bitch?"
and she doesn't use her
They
reasoning.
can't do math.
Like
Yeah.
here's the thing, okay? Anybody that says that people at McDonald's are stupid doesn't realize that they might be using the money they're making at McDonald's to go to school. So we
Yeah,
should all just quit
yeah.
putting judgments on people for the jobs they do.
No, I'm not putting judgments
no,
on
no.
the
They still
job,
need to know
people that are
basic
doing their
math.
jobs.
No, they have to be able
Quick,
to
mostly
reason.
off topic.
I'm just
rant.
putting judgments on people that actually go and eat there.
I was there last
That's
week.
Oh,
Can my mic be unmuted?
We
or
even
is
have-
it-
actually, every now and then it's okay.
We have proof
The-
that I was there last week.
You checked in.
No, she did Women Talking Tech from
From
McDonald's because the blends was full and
Actually, you know-
McDonald's had killer Wi-Fi.
Killer
You know,
Wi-Fi.
and also they've in the last few years they've upgraded their coffee to be pretty good coffee.
Okay, I don't drink coffee,
Yeah.
so okay.
Legit, if I hadn't worked 5 years at a McDonald's in high school, I would have no work ethic. McDonald's teaches you how to do
It's true.
simple tasks, and
It's
it breaks
true.
it down. And it's like, you can't do this part of the task till you've done this part of the task, and this is exactly how many seconds it takes to do it.
And
it teaches people how to work.
And if you go into
So-
Burger King and you look at all the fries on the floor and it's dirty and you know
Yeah, it's
the
the
mop
opposite.
is sitting on the corner. You walk into McDonald's and a fry falls on the floor. It's gone in 3 seconds. It's the place is
Back
spick
on the
and
plate.
span.
Yeah,
So
just
the
don't
place.
eat the stuff.
I'm not saying
put back
I'm
in
not
the
saying the
fryer.
organization isn't run efficiently and that it does Anyways,
Okay, everybody take a drink.
The
The-
average
the,
person can't do simple math. The average person's subliterate. It's not McDonald's fault.
yeah, but and you can't judge people based on their math skills. And let's take a
bad
look
at math or subliterate and still be
look at
awesome
these
and
look at
smart.
look at the these comedians who have like super
was
fast
not an
wit.
insult.
That's intelligence. It's a different type of intelligence. They being able to think on your feet really fast. Maybe they can't say what 1 + 4 is, but boom, they've got
7.
They can think lightning fast, and
12.
And a lot of people can't do that. So
Yeah,
now
and Randall's the accountant.
And always the people that are really good at math lose out in personality. So
it's not always true.
There's
There's some really good nuclear physicists out there that have some personality.
They're pretty fun.
All right,
Name
Gaming with James.
4.
Gaming with James. Gaming with James.
What's up, guys?
With the real James.
So I brought a gaming person here today.
Yay.
We're gonna
Because we beat up on you?
no, it's just because it's like
Are
whatever.
they called gamers?
No, this is Ken from Mind Juice Media.
Go to
Hey, how
Ken.
you doing?
And he made a game called what? What is it?
Most recent one was Unicorn Rush.
Yeah.
Does that have rainbows in
I
it?
am filled with joy.
Now, I just got to run in here because there was an amazing game, but Gem Rush. Is it similar to the Gem Rush one, or do you know
No, it's
different?
not.
Oh, well.
It turns out it's similar to another one called Robot Unicorn Attack.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
But I didn't know
That's
about
amazing.
Robot Unicorn Attack when I made my game.
Damn it.
A likely story.
Wink, wink.
So we're
So can you tell us what that does? Those of us who only play Angry Birds?
So Unicorn Rush is basically an endless running game where you have a beautiful little unicorn who runs and jumps from floating island to floating island, and he does have sparkles coming out of his butt.
Nice.
Oh, I like this already.
So you can actually also shoot fireballs from your horn and blow up rocks and crystals that happen to be in your path. And you collect unicoins as you run along.
Oh, very punny.
So I was so happy with myself when I came up with that name. Unfortunately, it doesn't translate to print very well, and people mostly misread it as unicorns anyway. So someone said, "Oh, you're using unicorns to buy unicorns." No, unicoins.
Well, at least they didn't get into uniporn.
Yeah, that's my next game actually. So I'd like to start talking about uniporn.
It does have a penis, doesn't it, on its head?
It does. in
Honestly,
fact.
the description of this game makes me so happy.
And with the coins that you purchase, you can make the horn penis longer. So
Oh, yes.
He's just kidding about this, everybody.
Oh,
We'll just,
that's
Damn, I
not.
was
so what is
excited.
your real new game going to be called?
My next game I'm working on is called Spellchemy. So it's a word game that combines alchemy and spelling words and anagramming.
Oh.
So
Do you have to be a good speller?
it
Yeah.
probably would help, but
Damn.
it's words 6 letters in length and less. So you
You should make a dyslexic version because Bob
Bob's dyslexic.
Bob can spell stuff
I like the
backwards sometimes.
unicorn one better.
Well,
There's no
actually,
unicorns in Spellchemy though. So
I think the thing is, if you could do a spelling relevant game that enabled you to cheat.
Yes,
If
with a spell
if you
check.
had a very verbose vocabulary, so if you say, "Oh, how do you spell this word?" and it was misspelled, but it was an interesting word, it would say, "Oh, no, that's how you spell it."
actually, a friend of mine and I used to play online Scrabble that way, where we would play any word you could play anything you wanted as a word, as long as in the comments you put the description of what that word was defined as.
Oh, nice.
And so that was just hilarious. Some of the words we would come up with and just make up bizarre definitions for them.
Spunkacon.
Okay, this is my segment,
don't
not
want to
yours.
know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, let's keep it
No,
classy.
no
here.
spunk. No spunk on the unicorn.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stop reading my diary.
yeah, that does sound like something Marcel would have in his diary.
Well, it does have a strap on, doesn't it?
Oh my God.
Anyways,
Okay. Back to
um,
the games. Gaming with James.
Anyway, it's still in development. It's at spellchemy.com. You can find a little teaser page there, and I'll be updating that as
Now-
it comes along.
My question is, sorry, James.
Go ahead.
But if you're a developer like yourself, how do you distribute your game? Do you join other networks? How do you get the word out?
So mostly so far I've been putting ads into my own previous apps. So I've released about 6 apps so far, and I have most of them are enabled to have ads in them that I can push my own future games in them.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I haven't done too much other than press releases.
But can't you register them at other platforms? Aren't there a bunch of like hosting platforms like what's it, that community? No, it's not community. What's the one that starts with the K?
Congregate.
Like, can you register Congregate, or is it not worth it?
Those are for web-based games.
Oh, this isn't web-based.
This is iOS. I should have maybe mentioned that. It's an iOS-based game.
You did say that.
And it's... okay, there you go.
Sure, I mean, I'm an Android guy, so I have a very short memory
So
span.
iOS...
Did you just say you're an Andrew guy? Because you're sitting next to him.
Hey, and I got
Actually,
my buddy
Spellchemy will be on Android as well.
Excellent.
And it will be on Mac and Windows and anything else. I can put it on with Unity.
So how hard is it to you whip up a game, takes you a couple of minutes, and then
That's
it's
pretty
like,
much
oh
it.
my
That's
god,
why it's only $1 because it only takes me a few minutes. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, oh my god, now iTunes wants to make me jump through hoops, and they're like 68 hours later, it's good enough for iTunes. How easy is it to convert from iTunes to Android?
Depends what you started with from technology point of view. So my previous games were all using a language called Objective-C, which is really only iOS.
Objective-C.
The latest stuff I'm working with is with a framework called Unity 3D, and that's
Well, they're just called Unity now, but yeah, Unity 3D.
Well, Unity3D.com is the website.
That is true, but they've branded themselves as
If you
Unity.
could see me now, I'm holding up a middle finger.
He's saying
towards
"fuck
James.
off" to James. Right?
But
Gaming with James. Boom, boom, boom.
And just as a side note, in Vancouver, the Unite
often
conference
do
will be
that.
coming up pretty soon.
I'm all registered for Unity. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Unity
that'll be
conference is
fun.
awesome.
That'll be awesome.
But,
Lots of girls. Come on down.
Yeah, lots of them. Bottom line is Unity is this awesome platform that lets you do 2D and 3D games and port them to iOS, Android, Mac,
really?
PC, Windows Phone, Windows Surface. So
Soon for other
Now,
platform.
but you don't get in trouble with because I've heard like iTunes Store is notorious for being bastards for stuff like no problem.
no
It zips
problem
right
at
through.
all, yeah.
Whoa, that's
No
very cool.
it's not as bad as most people make out.
Go.
The worst part is the delay. When you want to put out an update, you have potentially a week or two that you have to wait before people will get your update because you have to get approved and you may get rejected, and that could extend it to 3 or 4 weeks. So when you have a critical update, it's a pain in the ass to get that approval sometimes.
Okay. Does a delay of a couple of weeks really affect your fan base? Do they say, "Fuck you, I'm never going to use your"?
I guess it depends on the problem with
with
the game.
I've had a couple of issues in the past where huge spurts of negativity were coming up in all of the comments and everything. But it pretty much quells down after you get the update out. One thing they did, which I'm really happy about, is that the previous comments kind of get slurped down into another section.
Nice.
And so when the new update comes out, the only visible comments
Nice.
Are the great update.
and the reviews, the star ratings sort of get reset each time as well. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice,
That is
yeah.
nice. So James, do you have another question for your second?
No, I
Since
thought,
we
you, I,
totally
thought
take
you
it-
were. I thought you were going with
Sorry,
this.
I'm
I'm
just-
just sitting back here
It's
going
like-
like, whatever. What do I need me for?
Oh, poor James. James, come on, give us a good question. Come on, because I just been doing.
I don't have any more questions. I have
Give me
more
a hardball
gaming news.
question.
Okay, so
Hardball
I have
question.
a
Oh, you got
question,
gaming. Hang on, James got gaming.
Keep going. Keep going. Go ahead.
So you only do iOS apps. You don't do.
So like I was just mentioning with the platform, though.
Yeah.
The apps that I'm working on now will be portable to Windows, Mac, iOS,
Magically.
Android.
So like what, in a week's time or 2 weeks' time?
The other thing I'm working on is a platform called GameStick. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. It's
Isn't that the one that you get beaten up by a guy comes over, ding
he
dong,
beats
hello,
you with a
bang, bang,
GameStick.
bang, and then he
so
comes
what it
over.
is, it's a TV-based Android platform.
Oh,
So
I like it already.
You get a very small, you get like your handheld controller,
Yeah.
and you plug this little 2-inch Android console into your HDMI port on your TV.
Ooh, and then it becomes.
And it's a Bluetooth controller, so your whole
Oh,
TV
that's cool.
becomes a Bluetooth.
So you
gaming
get a
system.
2-inch by 2-inch on your 57 screen.
Well, it's a 2-inch controller that plugs into the TV on your 55-inch screen.
So I get like a 55 by 55.
55-inch game.
Oh, with
Wow.
a unicorn.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, not with a unicorn. It's a platform. So you plug this thing in the back of your
Yes,
TV.
James. It was a joke, James. Oh,
So what
my
about
God.
I thought your joke
BlackBerry
was
10
funny.
apps? Would you just be porting them from Android, or would you be actually
So
making a native
actually,
app?
one of the things that's happening is that the Unity platform that I'm using is actually working with BlackBerry to port their platform
Yeah.
to BlackBerry. So
Wow,
Oh,
that's
very
very
cool.
generous of you.
Actually, I think they're being paid by BlackBerry, but I have
Yo!
no proof
No,
of that.
I think it's a mutual beneficial.
Sure.
So it will be. I mean, basically, the one down part or down point of Unity is it's expensive. So every new platform you want to deploy on is another $1,500 license fee.
What?
So, the Windows
Is that
and Mac.
is that per app?
No.
No, it's a one
So
time pay.
It's one
to
time,
develop
but
it for
they
all
have
of
a
you.
they have a
Yeah, but
period.
it's $20 on Android, isn't it? Or $25 for
No.
developers license.
Go ahead,
So,
Ken.
Sorry, Ken.
I was just saying they have a period of time which the license is valid for. So if you buy a license for the 4.x version, you get 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. When 5.0 comes out, you have to pay again.
Oh, bastards.
Yeah, but
So
you
Android's
can
a bitch.
upgrade and pay them money. Like once you've paid in, don't you
Yeah,
get the
but
ability to
it's-
pay in
it's-
cheaper?
It's not that much cheaper.
And to
you
develop
get
for
$50 off.
Google is $0.
So
There's no
basically,
Google Glasses support yet.
There's no money to
Well, there's no Google
cost
Glass
to develop for Google Android.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's only $100 for iPhone.
Yeah, $100 a year
Wow.
for iOS.
Yeah.
Unity's actually free for Mac and Windows, though. You can, if all you're planning to release on is Mac and Windows, it's a free.
Because it's a web player.
and then Android's
like
another.
Flash.
And Android's free.
So what
Android's
about
free.
Chrome apps?
Wow.
Is that a totally separate thing, or is that
Yeah,
something?
Chrome has their own store for those.
Yeah.
So you got to pay
Free.
again.
Free.
Oh, free.
I think actually Unity
$25
can
or
target
something.
that as well, but I haven't really looked into that one.
It's just the Unity web player install.
Is it?
That's all it is. But Chrome apps are free as well. I mean, you're the one that's developing for them. So
So if
Yeah,
you're
they
so if
should
you
be
were
happy
developing using Unity for all these other platforms, and you want to make a Chrome app, do you have to pay another $1,500 for that platform?
I don't even think they do. I mean, it's the Unity web player that ends up being used in the Chrome store. So I think
Yeah, I
it's
think
the
it's
same.
free.
I think it's the same
Just ports over.
Android. Yeah, because like some apps for Google Android are the same as written for Google Chrome. It's not a big
what
jump.
was the name of that coding system? It was C.
Objective C.
Objective-C is
Objective-C,
the one
right.
that Apple.
Now, is that, C++ many years ago? I knew some guys with C++. Is that a hybrid of C++, or is it totally
No,
different language?
Totally different. So
Is it similar with the way it works, though?
C is sort of the root language.
Yeah.
C++ was derived from that. Objective-C was derived directly from C. It doesn't have anything in common with C++.
Okay, well, what about the way that it works as far as like mouse down, do this and that?
So
Is
that's
it similar
the
language?
platform rather
Yeah.
than the language.
Okay.
And Objective-C has its own,
Is it-
APIs for everything.
Basically, what I'm trying to say, is it a convoluted language?
It's pretty nice actually once you get used to it, especially the latest versions.
So you can do pretty quick coding on it?
Yeah, once you get used to it. A lot of people kind of get sidetracked by the syntax because it's quite different in some ways from C and C++. But once you've spent a couple of weeks with it, you kind of...
Different headspace.
Yeah.
So it's not like a 10,000-hour mastering type of
No,
thing?
if you know C or C++, within a
It's
week
smooth,
you can
right?
probably be up and running pretty
Sweet.
well. Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool. Anything more for
James, whip that
Game with
information.
Well, there's an old game called Carmageddon that people might know of.
Yeah, I
Loving
remember
that
Pen and
game.
paper.
I remember that game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been fully funded to be released next year
As a movie?
as a new game called
Oh.
Carmageddon Reincarnation.
So did they do a
Ah.
Kickstarter, or how did
They
they raise
did,
it?
and they
Nice.
raised $625,000 through their
Wow.
Kickstarter campaign. And today, Stainless Games announced that they're getting a $3.5 million investment from a guy named Les Edgar.
3.5 from one guy?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So if you love vehicular mayhem,
Where does this?
so
come
so
from? How
this
does he
totally
have
means that
3.5?
Paul can put on his Google glasses and run people over and be like, "I was playing Carmageddon."
yeah.
'Cause we know that's what
And
it'll
we
do.
should get
Isn't
that
that-
Victor guy on time.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
Sounds
like
like a
driving
great
in
idea.
Richmond?
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa! Too
You know,
soon,
once I
too
had
soon.
this martial arts instructor.
I enjoyed that
was
joke. It's accurate.
kind of crazy. And
Yeah.
he said that he has lucid dreams where he would be like in the dream he would be he'd just be standing in the line at the Royal Bank, and he would say, "Holy shit, this is a dream." And he'd look around at all the people in the line. He'd start like breaking their necks and throwing them like just like mutilating these people using all
Please?
his martial arts moves, and then I just looked. I said, you know, one of these days, it's not going to be a dream.
So I have an on-topic question, kind of.
Yeah. Is it,
Also,
is it Veronica Mars?
No, it is not. It's backtracking to an old topic too. Now, James, do you remember that game, Math Invaders? It was like a DOS game. It was pretty bad. You know, when you went to school and you had DOS.
Math
you know,
Blaster.
Math
that might
Blaster.
be it.
He rolls
Math
his
Bla- It might be
eyes.
it. I don't know. I'm not sure. If
That's the name
an
of
eye
it.
roll. That's
It is.
It's
That's the name
earned.
of
But in '94, like my family, we were an early adopter to the internet, so we had all the internet stuff, and then we go to school, and it'd be like computer class. You're gonna play Math Blasters question mark on DOS, and we'd be like, hooray! So what I'm wondering is
That game's so gay.
no. If they're gonna be like, yo, you have a tablet and you're being educated on the tablet, should they not have like a new version of Math Blasters? I'm just saying.
That's true.
Let's throw that out to our coder.
And then during recess and lunch, they're going to play Leisure Suit Larry.
Coincidentally,
Well, you're making
but
fun of that, but Aldo got
wasn't
that project
a mandatory
funded.
school game.
coincidentally, I'm actually working with UBC on an educational math game at this time.
Hey!
There you go. There's your Math Blaster. Talk to Ken.
So it's actually a game for helping students learn how to factor numbers, and I'm basically working with them. I had some research that was done on how to give better hints and how to sort of tell whether the students have learned or not learned.
Yeah,
factoring certain numbers.
on This Week in Tech, they were talking about one for algebra, and they were just using real life experiences and turning it into quadratic equations and stuff like that. And the students were actually relating to that and being able to figure out algebra. Just
You know how I learned algebra?
Okay, I just wanted a big shout out for
Do you
all our
wanna know?
listeners. No.
was she?
would like
What?
to know.
What?
Was
What
she
does?
hot?
Yeah, please.
That was no.
Please.
All right.
Go with.
Should that
For-
be the end
for-
of Game with
No,
James?
for all our listeners, we just want to know, like, what does factoring mean?
And some of the people in the room.
I'll send you a copy of the game when it's done. How about that?
Awesome. And we'll put that a show and a link on there.
I can tell you on
Free
the accounting
for
side what
all.
it means.
Yeah.
And so
Coming
GDC
from a game of jugglers.
GDCs this week. Lots of cool stuff happened. Richard Garriott sucks, by the way.
Oh, what?
That was the
Yeah.
Whoa.
end of Game
Yeah.
with
Is that because he
James.
insulted you?
He insulted everybody. He said that he believes that all game designers suck.
Most,
And that's
I
why-
think he said most.
He said most. This guy named
Well-
Richard Garriott. He came up with Ultima back in the day.
Well, James, with all due respect, at least they have a talent.
But Richard
I'm
Garriott
not
hasn't made
sure.
anything in 10 years,
I'm
so
not sure,
I don't think
but
he
that
should
might
really
have been a
talk.
dig.
I don't really care. Anyways, that's it for Gaming with James. Thank you very
Awesome.
much. And if you have a
But-
question for Gaming with James, you can call and talk to us at...
Andrew, what's that number?
What's the number?
604-961-8. No, that's my number.
The number is 1-877 636
74.
1474.
Oh, I got the 74 right. God.
We will give you money if your name is not Norm. We will give you money for calling that line.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if your name is not Norm, but if you're different.
So I just spent my whole black
Party
beer.
foul.
Somebody cut Bob off. He just spilled his beer.
Oh, we got the $5.
Show
back.
notes are ruined.
Oh my god, there's sparks everywhere!
Well, thank God it's the end of the
Oh,
show.
the
because
humanity.
we
Thank God the iPhone was on a tripod.
We are at a wash of beer, which is,
Incidentally, that's my nickname.
a wash of beer.
Tripod.
Oh, I like a wash
I
of beer.
don't believe that.
That's awesome.
Marcel will make you prove it.
Hey,
I would.
thank you for coming, and we'll see you next
Gross.
week when we do the same thing again.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Quick.
Wow, great reactions, Andrew.
Oh shit, man.